Okay, people, hi. I just made my probably somewhat kind of weirdish because of my strange mood. There we have it, mood. Physical changes after 1 month, which is actually 5 weeks by now, video. And I should also talk about some like emotional changes, because definitely estrogen does. Oh, I'm distracted. It is really obvious to me that estrogen does change emotional response patterns and reactions, and so yeah, I just want to talk a bit about what I experienced. So in general, I can say that mood swings is something that you have anyway when you go through a lot of stuff and you have to digest a lot. So my whole like last half year of transition, pre-HRT, which is kind of part of transition for me already. I mean, I started transitioning quite a while ago, before I started hormones, I would say. But my like pre-medical transition, pre-HRT, emotions were wild anyway. So it's not like I can say I'm having more mood swings or higher or lower mood swings than before. Just things are like more detailed and clearer and more multicolored, and somehow each individual flavor of emotion is just much more distinct. Like where before, when I'm swinging downwards and I'm just like starting to feel really depressed, and I'm just like incapable of even leaving the house sometimes because I just couldn't deal with facing people, like talking to more than one person at a time, because I just didn't know of who I was at the time, because everything changed. I like just questioned everything, who I am and how others see me and whatnot. So like the general effect of that was one big mushy, depressed, powerless, weird, bad mood. So now I experience my moods as it seems like I'm changing much faster from one thing to another, because the individual emotions, they pop up really clearly as individual colors and flavors. I'm not finding better words. Emotions are anyway complex to describe, and changes to emotions even more. It's really a bit fuzzy. But another thing that I had, and I had it like 2 or 3 times, that is for me, completely new emotional reaction that I didn't have before. When I'm in a stressful situation, for example, because I'm late to go somewhere, and I'm kind of always late. I'm getting better at it, by the way, now. I'm really working on it. But usually I have a really bad feeling of when I need to start preparing to get somewhere, and then in the end I'm just like running, or like I'm biking like an idiot. And my usual pattern then is to just find like scapegoats in everyone. Like I'm late, and I basically am aware that it's my own fault and that I should have prepared better, but still I'm like thinking of, why is that traffic light red right now? Like, who programmed it? No car is driving and still it's red, and they could have done it better. Or why is that person now walking on the bicycle path? Why is somebody parking so stupid? Why are they bringing me into this dangerous situation? Even though, of course, like if I wouldn't rush so much, I wouldn't have a problem with all of that. So I kind of would find myself being frustrated at others and deflecting from myself, which is like a thing that seems very immature, like when you think about it, but it really is a pattern that I think is very widespread, and it's something that helps you to not have to deal with responsibility, which on the other hand also means that you never have change, because only when you realize your responsibility, then you can realize that it's all in your hand to improve the situation. But So my new response to stressful situations or uncomfortable situations can be to just feel absolute like victimhood. It's really crazy. I've never felt like this before, and I'm absolutely sure that this is an hormonal effect. Just this feeling of being a little child, absolutely helpless and hopeless, and wanting to just stop everything and sit down somewhere and cry. And like I've had this in situations where I really felt like you can't let yourself live through that right now. Like it can be really helpful and healing to just live through an emotion and process it and be done with it. And then it's over and it's fine, and whatever, you cried a bit, good, like wash it away. But like in situations where it's cold and I'm like exhausted and it's raining and I lost my path and I got lost somewhere in some weird corner of Berlin, and I just want to be at home. And this is not somewhere where you just want to like sit down in the rain and cry. So I have to like learn to be my own mother or father or parent or whatever, and take myself in a situation and not allow myself to fall into this emotion too deeply. And other times maybe it's good to process it, but at this moment definitely not. New emotion to deal with. And it happened a few times. It's strange. Like I have to refine tools. I have to refine tools to deal with myself, to handle myself, to handle my emotions. There's another thing also where I'm wondering if that's a matter of like identity and what I believe I learned about gender and all that, or if it's really a hormone thing. That is that also in other points I weirdly felt like giving up faster, and that was a physical thing where I had to fix my bike and I just didn't manage to get my tire off the wheel because like it requires a lot of force, and I clearly didn't lose a lot of muscle. Like look, this is a male arm, kind of. It's not like a huge arm, but I'm strong enough, I mean, and I built this on testosterone, and I'm not going to lose it that fast. I wish a bit to lose a bit of muscles, but, fuck it. I'm not a lot weaker than I was before, and still I didn't manage to get that thing off, and instead of fighting harder, my reaction was to just think, no, I can't do it, I'm too weak. So what is this? Is this like a thing I learned about like girls are weak, so I'm a girl, so I'm weak and I can't do it? I have the feeling this is like the social construct part of gender, where you start believing things about yourself and they become real just because you learned them somewhere, and they might have actually nothing to do with your actual physical reality. I have to take care. There's things you don't have to conform to what society says. I mean, anyway, in general, I don't see myself having to try to be this Barbie doll, transgender, whatever. I need to pass 100%. I mean, I anyway have no passing right now. I anyway won't have a passing for another year or something. I have no clue. I just want to be me, and I want to find freedom. I don't want to throw myself from one tiny gender box of masculinity into a new tiny gender box of like being a freaking Barbie doll. It's like ridiculous. I'm not doing that. So I'm fixing my bike and I'm being like a feminist girl. Yeah. Don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. It's all crap. You can do everything. Bam. Okay, cool. Before my battery runs out, thank you for watching. Sorry that also this one was definitely a strange video. I feel I'm not really myself today. And maybe I should just go out. Okay, the blue sky is gone again. Maybe that's why. Maybe there's just too much weather changes every 5 minutes. I'm so depending on the weather, like always, but maybe it is also an hormone effect that it got even more direct. Everything emotional is just so much more in your face on estrogen. Like it's harder to escape, it's harder to walk around, to ignore, to eat things into yourself. You just have to process them, which I guess is also much more healthy than to just swallow it all the time. But it can be quite annoying because the last few days it's been quite rainy and low air pressure, and I just didn't really function. I was constantly in this like tiredness situation, mood, no energy, quite terrible. And I couldn't do anything but to just be there, be that in that moment, and like go with it and be tired constantly and have no energy and realize I don't have energy, so fine, so I don't have energy. Okay, that's what it is right now. I don't know how I would deal with having a period. Like it would be even worse. Great for you cisgender girls that you can just deal with periods. It's like insane. You're crazy. You're strong. It's so good. Awesome. I have respect for you a lot. Also, when the weather changed, it changed overnight, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 nights ago. And I wanted to wake up early the next day because I wanted to go to ballet class at 10. And so I made myself go to sleep at 10 in the evening so I could wake up at, I don't know, 7 or something, so I have time to warm up. And I was so proud. I was in bed at 10 and not at like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, like so often. And I slept for 3 hours and I woke up and it was 1 o'clock in the night. I was thinking it's morning because I just felt so awake. I was just ready to get up and hop on my bike and have a coffee before maybe and just like go to my training. And yeah, it was 1 o'clock. I had slept 3 hours and I was awake as if it's bright daylight. And I tried to sleep, but I just couldn't manage to go back to sleep for another 4 hours. And the next day it was blue sky and sunshine and like high air pressure, and with that also high blood pressure. So that's what I realized happened in that night, that I had woken up and I was so awake, because this was where the weather shifted in these like midnight until 4 in the morning. I just went with the weather. I just woke up with the weather. And I was feeling shit the next day because I had so much planned to go and be disciplined and go to my training and like do a good job and like fix my day and night cycle to not anymore be awake the whole night. And then the weather changes and it gets like sunny and blue sky, and I was hating the sunshine. I just couldn't be happy for the sun, because it just controlled me too hard. I don't know, it's weird. It was an insanely strange day where I was just jumping back and forth between wanting to eat and wanting like, ew, never food again, bah. And then I felt full of energy and felt like, okay, I want to have like music and to dance a bit. And then I felt like, no, but I want to sleep. And then one moment I was really warm and sweating, and then suddenly I started to freeze and be cold, and not funny. Okay, anyway, enough. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, send me something nice, tell me hi. Ciao, till next time. Bye bye.